How do you do, everybody? My name is Keith Harper. I work at 1020 The Fox Radio in High Prairie, just west of where I am right now, which is in Grouard with the Northern Lakes College. I was just extending an open invitation to anybody who has comments on how this conference is going. Ask comments on the gathering that you have here.
My comments are I'm particularly impressed with the diversity, the various groups that are together, the questions we've had raised this morning, the presentations, and the donated time by our presenters so far is remarkable. It shows a very strong commitment to rural Alberta and the opportunities for leveling the playing field by a better use, a more robust use of broadband or high bandwidth technologies.
How far has things come in the last, as I say, it's been 10 years since I've been part of a video conference, but how far have things come in those 10 years, or would you know?
I'd say if you compared dog years to human years, and you compared this to different life cycles like that, we're probably 3 generations better in terms of video conference, reliability, and connectivity from 10 years ago.
3 generations?
That's my own application to it, and I could be nailed by somebody who might come along and say, well, Bill, be more precise, what's a generation? But believe me, we couldn't have made a connection 20 years ago where people are managed and able to connect. If we lose the connection, there's help to bring them back into the picture, and the reliability is phenomenal. I've checked on our webcast that's going out of here. That's working very well as well. We're almost a light switch on the wall reliability, and that's exciting.
No kidding. Why did you choose this format for this conference?
We're trying to practice what we preach, and our message is that rural Alberta has a lot of power that is either in their hands right now or very close. And if we can equip more Albertans with the stories, the applications, the opportunities, then I think the demand will rise, and more people are going to ask others, how can I do this? Hey, let's you and me get together and go try that. Let's go see if we can get some funding and do this. Why don't we do? And that's what I hope at the end of the day, people will see the medium working. And that's important because we've had some very good presentations this morning, being to the site, so to speak, to see different practitioners, different Albertans who are using broadband in their life now. And so we want these stories to spread. We want these stories in an agricultural parallel to be seed that will germinate more ideas, more applications.
Sounds like both the presentations and the feedback that you're gaining from other jurisdictions is going very well. Would you concur?
I think I would, yes. And the feedback also covers lunch, by the way.
What are some of the plans that you bring forward, or what are some of the plans that you bring forward for future forums like this?
I think that crystal ball is a little fuzzy. We're going to have the website running at www.communitieswithoutboundaries.ca, which will be a very good opportunity for people to post ideas and suggestions and requests. But the planning for this, and in fact the funding for the day, take quite a long time to transpire. So I can't tell you there's another one planned for 6 months from now or a year from now. It'll happen sometime, but we need to hear from a public. We need to hear from more stakeholders that there is growing need to do more of this kind of communication.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the specifics that are being covered here in the conference?
We're looking at different examples that we've seen this morning covered education, healthcare, and rural economic development. And we've been able to hear from educators who are using this now, who are looking for different ways to increase what they're doing. And the exciting message from them is they're finding ways to make this part of their business case now. It's not special projects for them anymore. We talked to some people about healthcare, and healthcare have been particularly skillful at developing opportunities for broadband and video conference to serve their community where they have a special challenge about the confidentiality of patient information. So it's exciting to see that even with that concern, they're finding ways to cope with the benefits or the ways to benefit from closing the distance and using technology. And we just heard from a number of people who are able to say that I use this to help my business grow. And they're also saying I couldn't give it up and still do what I need to do for my economic activity, my viability. After lunch, we're going to have a session looking at the quality of rural life. And this is going to be a very good opportunity to hear from some projects that have been running for, in some cases, 2 or 3 years, and learn what has been the impact, not just on the economic or the education or healthcare side, but how are people feeling? How has this improved the quality of their life? And then we have a panel coming at the end of the day where we're going to talk about one of the unsolved or frontier points of first mile, or some people refer to it as last mile connectivity. A special kind of frustration perhaps when you know that the supernet is in town across the street at the school or the clinic, but your home is not able to get better than dial-up. And so we'll have about 7 panelists address that issue at the end of the day.
Alrighty, I think that's all I've got as far as questions are concerned. I'm going to let you enjoy and finish your lunch. And Bill, I thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for joining us. Appreciate the opportunity to talk as I just love to do. You might have been able to figure that out.
Hey, talking is good, is it not? Communications. We're all in the communications business, are we not?
I think so. Thanks you.
All right, thank you very much, especially up here.
I'll make a comment to support the conference. This is Cathy King. I'm live from the edge of Edmonton, and I helped to chair the education session this morning. And I think just to respond to your question in terms of how the conference is going, excellent. We're at a point now with the technology, like Bill says, we're almost at the light switch phase. We're at a point where when someone, even in the city, can be on another video conference and you have the ability of connecting from sort of anywhere, anytime, any place. And the hope is that that not only is available in our urban environments, but regardless of what community you're in, regardless if you're on a farm that's 2 miles from town or 50 miles from town. It's the ability to connect, to get the information, to share knowledge with each other, to build community, to engage each other, and not operate in silos anymore. So that would be my comment to you, Keith, to add to what Bill told you before.
Cathy, thank you very much. How far, in your opinion, how far do you think this technology has come over the last say 10 years?
Over the last 10 years, to give you distance, I would say we are now the pioneering astronauts on the ground. Because 10 years ago, like, I've been doing video conferencing using this technology for the last 8 years. And 8 years ago, if you asked me to do something like this, I wouldn't go there.
Wouldn't be happening. Wouldn't be happening.
And the fact that regardless of where we're at, like, I'm connecting from my home today, as you can see the sun shining in my face. I'm comfortable with the connectivity to connect from my house, to connect if I'm using a Rogers stick on my laptop, to connect from an actual built facility, like you're seeing some of the tiles around the room in terms of the sites. We're at that point where the technology is reliable, regardless if I'm a power user or even a newbie. You are comfortable enough to make the connection so that it's no longer about the technology. The technology is the connector so that you and I can have the discussion. We can make the connection. We can talk about content. We can take a program together. And that's the biggest power in terms of growth over the last 10 years.
Perfect. Cathy, thank you very much.
You're welcome.